I call the parish meeting to order.
We welcome you to a special joint meeting of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the councils on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form and submit it to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistant is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handled to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the councils, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, please call 291-8800. The following items are being deferred indefinitely and will not be discussed or acted upon at this meeting. Item number 9, introduction of JO-012-2020 regarding the Crime Prevention Commission. Item number 10, introduction of JO-012-2020 regarding the Downtown Management Committee. These items will be placed on an upcoming agenda, not yet determined, when it is safe for the public to attend. My announcement is that the viewers for the first time, you've seen we all set up in a different way. It's only because of what's going on with the virus. So just be patient with us. We'll just stay tuned. Any chair announcements? I see one. Ms. Hebert.
Thank you, Chairman. Just wanted to announce, in previous meeting, I announced that I had scheduled an allocation table meeting on April 7th. Wanted to let you all know that that is going to be rescheduled at a later date due to the situations that we're dealing with. The committee that was going to be flying in to attend the meeting is obviously not wanting to travel, and we all understand that. So we are rescheduling the allocation meeting it was going to be a joint council meeting on a later date. I will announce that in the future. Thank you.
Council Leader, Ms. Cook.
Thank you. I just have one announcement about a community event that I'm sure everyone realizes is probably canceled, but the Healthy Kids Running Series, which was supposed to start this Sunday, is being postponed until April 17th. So we're not necessarily giving up on it yet, but we are postponing till April 17th. So that's the Healthy Kids Running Series. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, President, Mr. Guillory, any announcements today?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the time and also appreciate everybody's hard work during this unforeseen disaster, or natural disaster is what we're kind of referencing as, but we will get through this by exercising proactive measures and leading by example, which I know both councils are doing right now by exercising social distancing. So I applaud you for that, and I applaud you for all your activities in our wonderful community that we are called to serve. So thank you so much. I have one proclamation. And then also, I'd like to take this opportunity to answer any questions that you have. Tomorrow, we have a very big event that we're still going to be working till the wee hours of the night to finalize, but we're almost there, and we're at least have everything finalized, the big pictures to present to the public, and that is our screening site at the Cajun Dome, and the hours of operation will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The screening, I want to clarify a little bit, and we're going to have to further clarify this $50 situation. The screens are free. So when you go to the Cajun Dome, you drive in through and you maneuver through the stations. The screening aspect of it, there's no charge. But everybody that goes needs to be prepared to have your driver's license or a government issued ID along with your insurance card. For those who do not have insurance, our healthcare providers are asking that you be prepared to pay $50 at some point for the actual test, should you need it. So the screening process may be able to just tell you that you don't need a test or don't recommend that you need a test. I'll defer to the healthcare providers on that. Also, I ask that you promote this within your districts, respective districts, and throughout our parish, the ability to call in 311. So our 311 service, they're doing a phenomenal job on all of our services as far as, the regular routine government functions, but we're going to partner with some healthcare providers, a variety of healthcare providers throughout the parish and the surrounding areas to man a special call center through 311 to be able to actually do a screening process over the phone. This is very important because one, it's free, and two, it might help, and it should help lessen the strain on our healthcare providers at these testing sites or these screening sites. So, and also, help with the overall health system, our ERs, our walk-in clinics, private primary care physicians, things like that. So please encourage that. But on that note, I welcome any questions that you have in regards to our screening processes. Also, another bit of information, we will have the Broussard location for our parish residents and surrounding areas, if need be, located at the Broussard Sports Complex. What's the official name, Sid? St. Julian. I always call it the Broussard Sports. St. Julian. Okay. So, and we'll have that site up and running, or excuse me, we'll have that site with everything short of personnel, and will be secured by law enforcement. Just in case tomorrow we start getting through this screening process, and then we realize that we need some more manpower. So that site will be available too, should we need it. Let's see. Oh, good. Just literally, like I said, we're going to be up till late tonight finalizing everything, but this is really good news. Hopefully our media outlets pick this up. No charge for a flu test. Fantastic. Only for the COVID test, the COVID-19 test. That's a huge, huge benefit to our community. And again, our healthcare providers are really, really going above and beyond to serve our community. We have representatives from our ambulance services to our two major hospitals, to primary care doctors, our two emergency room head physicians. I don't know if that's the official name for them, but Dr. Cornage and Dr. Claymont from Lafayette General and Our Lady of Lourdes, respectively, have really gone above and beyond their nursing staffs to do this initial push, man these operations. And we are calling on all healthcare providers to stay tuned, and if you're in a position to volunteer, we need your time, we need your expertise. Anyone from nursing assistants all the way to a medical doctor. This is going to take a team effort and a community effort to combat this very contagious virus that has no cure. But I know we'll get through it. We've gone through things before in the past as a community, nothing different. But let's be wise about it and exercise common sense. And these screening sites are definitely a proactive measure that I appreciate both councils' support in doing this. You guys are working really hard, and I appreciate your teamwork in this effort. Other than the Cajun Dome and Broussard, if need be, we have 3 additional locations, and our area mayors have secured these sites with us, so we appreciate that. The Youngsville Sports Complex is available should we need it. The Karen Crow Community Center is also available should we need it, and then the Public Library in Scott is also available should we need that location as well. If it ramps up and we need additional locations, I have no doubt in my mind, and if it gets to that point, I'm sure we'll have a lot more resources available to us, but we have some other facilities within the parish if we need to flex in that regard. So again, thank you to both councils for all your hard work and your partnership in these efforts. It's truly an honor to serve with you. And that being said, any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer.
Let's see. Oh, Mr. Gilbo. Go ahead.
You need a booster chair. Mr. Mayor, President, again,
This is unique.
John Gilbo. Mr. Mayor, President, I do
Yes,
have
Mr. Chair.
First, I'd like to say thanks again to you and your staff. I know y'all have been on top of this, working very diligently to keep us informed, and hopefully through all of these efforts will keep us safe, and hopefully we'll get through this. I know we will get through this. My question, and it's really not a question, just clarification. So they will go through a screening process. If they go through the screening process and it looks like they need to be tested, will it be done on site or will they be sent to a medical facility?
If they have the test on site at that particular point.
Well, let's say the Cajun Dome for tomorrow.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
yeah.
we have limited resources. We're anticipating, should they get to that point in the screening process, that there are tests available to it. And kudos to our healthcare providers. They're able to use the kit to test for the flu. If it's negative, it's my understanding that this same swab, the same sample will be able to be shipped off for a COVID-19 test. Remember, that's not instant. Now, the flu would be a rapid flu screening process, so you'll have those results relatively quick. You know, and by quick, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And this is a situation where our residents will be able to drive through. They're not getting out of the car. Our healthcare providers are protected, taking measures to do that. But at that point, they'll be tested. Now, if we run out of tests, then our healthcare providers will make some on-the-ground decisions.
So the swab, if it does look like it may be positive, they would be sent off to a lab for further evaluation, and then the individual would be notified. Generally, how long, do we know how long it takes for
Well, we're here
response?
5, but it could be longer. Okay, so my understanding is it could be anywhere from 5 to 14 days. As we're noticed, we're still waiting on a large, well, I say large, more than 20 samples right now that we're waiting on to get the results for the COVID-19 virus here in Lafayette Parish.
Okay, thanks.
No, thank you. Yes, sir.
And
Oh,
parish
Mr.
council members, if you would like to speak, just go stand to the podium right next to John.
Mr. Councilman Nakane?
AB is welcome. I'll yield the floor right now, AB Rubin. Yeah, he's got to stand by. I'm sitting down. I'm doing good.
Hey, it's hot?
Yeah,
It's
hi.
hot.
Okay. I also want to thank you for the work that you're doing with that. Would you recommend, like our first responders, our health providers, and people like that to try to be proactive and go and take this test tomorrow? Would you highly recommend them to go? No?
They you know, I cannot hear and two people at one. I'm not blessed with those capabilities. Let me tell you though, on that note, I'm joking. Y'all want to know who's working probably the hardest working person in this parish right now? So I'm going to be quiet, and that's our chief administrative officer. She's doing a phenomenal job. She personally walked through both sites. I only did one site today, so she doubled my workload, but that was great. Can you please ask that question? Oh, the healthcare. Okay, I will defer to.
In other words, who you recommend be the primary people to go? People that's taking care of people in the hospital.
Sure.
Our first responders, our volunteers in the community that's trying to help out with what you guys are doing. You recommend them or just
And
what?
Sidra, if you need to speak, you can pick up the mic. Your mic is hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Oh no, she has my ear, V. Don't worry about it. I'm kidding. That's fine, but I do have some thoughts. Yeah, like a team effort. But I would say this. So we do have a little criteria or set of criteria that we're encouraging those. I know the intent behind your question. It's basically who do we advise go to first, basically. Stay tuned to our LCG website. It might be on there right now, but if not, by tonight, we'll have a little link that'll give some further guidance. For example, individuals that are pregnant are recommended to go get screened. Our elderly with comorbid situations, or at prone to illnesses should be screened. But we have an exhaustive list that will have a link on our website, but also Our Lady of Lourdes and Lafayette General's websites also have links on recommendations as to who needs to go get the screen. But again, I urge everyone starting tomorrow morning to call 311. I mean, that is so easy. It's free. Call it. I see some media outlets out here. Please encourage your listeners to dial 311. We'll have a link or an option to contact healthcare providers that can guide you through a screening process. And maybe that phone call ends with go to the Cajun Dome to get screened, or go to your local healthcare provider. But Councilman Rubin, there will be a list of recommended individuals that are being strongly suggested to get screened. Good question.
And I will supplement that. Mayor President Guillory is exactly right. Those are the types of individuals presenting. But even prior to going, if you're not symptomatic, you should not go for screening. If you're not feeling ill, if you're not running a fever, these are the kinds of people that we're wanting to get there first. If you're feeling poorly, if you're running a fever, if you've got a cough, those are the kinds of people that should go for the screening, and then through the screening process will further determine if you have, if you're a critically at-risk type of individual for testing. So he's exactly right, and there's also one preliminary. But if you have a concern, or if you're not sure, that 311 number, once we get it up and running with our private partners, they'll also be able to further answer some of these sort of screening tests and questions for you.
So I would say it's safe to say, don't just freak out and say, well, since they're giving free screening, let me go. You might go healthy and leave ill.
Well, good concern. If you were going to a walk-in clinic or the ER, you're absolutely right. You may walk in healthy and leave ill, absolutely. So the intent, one of the intents behind this particular screening site, or these sites that we have set up, is we're going to limit that possibility by allowing the patient or our citizens to stay in their car. So you don't. It's almost like an assembly line. It's very, very impressive. Our medical teams out there that have created this process. It's very, very impressive.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Any other questions?
Mr. Naki?
Please.
You're on.
Yes, sir. You hot?
Yeah. I'm hot now? Okay, good. Two questions. And one is the 211 number. That's a statewide number for information is what that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just remember that in the public. If you have questions and you want to find out, there's a 211 number, which is a statewide number to find out information about COVID-19 and the symptoms and susceptibility. So feel free to use that number if you want to find out more information about the symptoms and whether or not you're symptomatic and need the screening. Those things do help the process, no doubt. One other question I had on closures. Basically, all government buildings are closed to the public, period. That's
Generally
including
speaking.
parks and recreation, everything. But now parks are still open?
Parks are the recreation centers associated.
Rec centers are
with the-
closed, but parks are
correct.
open. Okay, so if they want to take their child to the park, they're welcome
Good
to
job.
do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just exercise
That deals
social
with the
distancing.
public. Now, as far as public buildings, so LCG-owned buildings, that's parish-wide. All health centers are closed, all health centers.
Correct.
Okay. Of course, we have bars and restaurants. Anybody that's sit-down seating and not takeout is closed. We are experiencing restaurants that have developed takeout services. That's okay, I'm assuming. I don't see any problem with
Yes,
that.
and Councilman, also to just take this opportunity, for all restaurants out there that are transitioning to a delivery or pickup style situation, some of them have expressed interest in going longer hours. Just know that the administration has removed all red tape to prevent them from going to even a 24-hour operation. Not every restaurant will do it, but this is good. We're having this dialogue so that the public can see that it's a little bit of inconvenience. Everybody can agree to that, but it's a necessary inconvenience.
But that's food to go, not liquor to go.
Well, good question. It's my understanding that, the drive-through, I don't want to, hey, look, in this economy, don't drink and drive. Uber's still available, Lyft's still available. Designated drivers are still encouraged. That being said, I want to,
No open containers.
maximize the economic impact that we can, positive impact.
No open containers, that's for sure.
That's correct. No
Yeah.
open containers.
I can see how it's hurt a lot of the industry in regards to the entertainment industry, there's no doubt. All movie theaters, are they closed? Okay. In dealing with banks, and those are staying open, we're not regulating them at this point.
That is correct, and that is same guidance given to us on the federal level and the state level.
That won't be determined here, that's going to be above our head. That's a decision above our pay grade, I'm assuming.
Under the conditions that we know right now, correct. If things change, then we'll
And
take
that, of
action.
course, I'm sure will deal with any other private business that's not serving food, drink, liquor, whatever. If they're just a service industry outfit, such as building material centers, people that have need assets and things like that, that's going to be, as far as I know, there's no regulations put there yet.
As of right now, correct.
Okay, all right. And the size of the number of employees is not regulated at these buildings either, because, many of them are over 10. Is it 10's a gathering now?
The President of the United States has encouraged gatherings of over 10 to be avoided.
Correct.
The mandate is still 50 from our governor, but the strong suggestion, which I do agree with President Trump on this, if you can minimize, and the intent behind that is not to unduly infringe on our liberties. It's to combat this extremely contagious virus that has no cure.
Right. So things such as our Easter egg hunt, which was planned, any of those functions like that, even though it's an outdoor activity, it's not in a rec center, it's still, it's canceled. It just, because
All
of the large
gatherings
gatherings.
over 50 are mandated to be closed.
And of
correct?
course, I've noticed the diocese has shut down services, and I'm sure most of the churches have canceled all services, I'm sure, for the time being.
I know of the Catholic Church, our bishop, and actually all bishops in the state have agreed to that.
Right. Well, keep us informed, Mayor President. I know you're doing a wonderful job. Sidra, thank you very much. Y'all definitely have put in your hours. Now, you don't get overtime for this. Remember that. It had to be approved by us.
That's right, that's right. We're not asking.
Thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. I
Thank
yield
you,
the
Councilman.
floor. Thank you.
Mr. Cook?
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Mr. Cook.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've gone through 4 people, and actually,
Yeah.
anything I was going to ask has been asked already, and one thing I did want to say is thank y'all very much for everything y'all are doing. Y'all are doing an amazing job.
Appreciate it.
Keeping the public informed, and I was at a meeting today, which, for teachers, and we were over the limit, so I'm not going to bust them all, but a lot of them were saying how much they really appreciated how well-informed they felt because of all your press conferences and all the press releases going out. So I do thank y'all for that. And I was going to question some of those closures, or not question them, but just you make sure that we continue to put that out there, what's what they are, what's open, what's closed, just so that everybody has a clearer picture, because you spoke earlier in your press release about, maybe some, rumors that people are starting. So that we make sure that we have, that people are panicking already about groceries and things like that. So we just want to make sure that we have that information out there, and you have been doing a great job. So I just want to say, keep it up. You're doing a good job.
Thank you, Councilwoman, I appreciate it. And I, again, say that my partners here, both on the city and parish council, you guys are doing a great job too. That said, on the grocery stores, let's just remind everybody that there's not a food shortage in our country, and as a community, another step that we can take is when you go to the grocery store, buy 1 week at a time. There's no need to buy a whole month's worth. When you're doing that, you're taking away from one of your neighbors. So let's not only exercise social distancing and all the common sense measures that we're exercising, but when you're going to plan to buy your groceries, let's go 1 week at a time, and let's be good neighbors to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rubin?
Okay, and it's pretty much on that same note there. Earlier, we talked about taking care of the kids and feeding the kids in the school. Since we have the media and people are looking at us right now, we need to remember the elderly in our neighborhoods also. If you're going to the store, I recommend check on your elderly, see if they need something to the store, because like you said earlier, they're the one who can get sick fastest. So instead of them going to the store, bring your kids. Let your kids go knock on the door and ask Miss Ruby, hey, Miss Ruby, you need something to the store. And let's go take care of them. That way they don't have to get out in the public, and they don't have to be susceptible. Yeah, there you go. Help me out.
I was tracking.
Yeah, thank you. But, and also, there was those elderly people that are getting around. Are they trying to do some times for them in all the stores maybe? Try to let the elderly go at like a certain time where we can't get in and let them go in there? Just some other things that concern about our elderly people.
Sure, and I think that's well noted. I believe that sentiment is shared by everybody in the room. One note, if you can, call the elderly to check on them as opposed to knocking on the door. That would be great. Exercise our social distance, because again, this is a situation. I'm not a medical doctor, but I've talked to more than we could count here in the last week or so. But remember, we have these young little bodies in our communities that are all healthy, and they may not be symptomatic, but they may be carrying this very, very, I'm going to go ahead and say it, deadly virus. And we have a demographic that may be more susceptible, and that's the elderly, that when they come into contact, it might not be a good combination. So great intent. Let's just be as smart as we can. If you know the person that may be older in age, call them. Check on them. I think what you're saying is you're summarizing some of our greatest attributes in our community, and that is check on each other. Yes. Do what we've been doing for hundreds of years. check on one another, do like we would any other natural disaster. That's how the administration's approaching this. This is a different type of a natural disaster, but it's a natural disaster nonetheless. And, you know, when hurricanes come and flooding hit our community, what do? We do exactly what Councilman Rubin says. We go check on each other. And that's the beauty of Lafayette Parish, and this is no different. But it is a different type of a disaster, so we got to be smart. Social distancing, knock on the door is fine, but back up 36 feet if you can, and maybe talk really loud.
And, you know, when you bring these elderly, the boxes or the bags and whatnot, if you can, try to wipe it off.
There you go.
If they're ill,
Sure.
you know, I've been to a couple of meetings with United Way and AVI, so they've been teaching us, you know, you wipe the boxes down because the germs can last for so much. I think it's like 24 hours or 3 days, somewhere in that area. I don't know the exact number. I don't want to quote somebody and say, if he said that, no. But wipe it down to try to kill the germs if you're going to go and shop for your neighbors, or especially if they're elderly and they have pre-existing conditions.
That's right. Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Chair, any other questions? Or
No, before we move forward, I'd just like to thank the clerk, Veronica, and her staff for a fine job they're doing to keep everything in order.
And I will agree with that. Thank you,
Okay.
V.
Thank you.
And I would like to say thank you to the staff, and you
Right.
could see out there, I mean, just trying to get this ready,
Sure.
trying to get this all set
Right.
up. The staff work together. Of course, out there, that's all Jeremy.
Who's he? Who's that?
Jeremy,
Oh.
he did all the seeds. And so, but I do want to thank the staff
Right.
for everything.
Okay,
We've
thank-
been very busy the last couple of days.
Thank you,
And
Madam.
as it relates to, Mr. Mayor, as it relates to the $50 fee.
Sure.
A couple of council members already had started getting calls, so if you guys figure it out tomorrow, if you could send a press release or give us some information on it so that we could share it with the public.
Absolutely, and just remind, because we've had a lot of information thrown in, and really up-to-date information. Sid was passing me some notes here earlier. So again, just want to clarify, the screening is free.
Free, correct.
So I encourage you to look at the list of who's recommended to be screened. When in doubt, call 311. I strongly, again, urge everybody, call 311 in the morning as opposed to, as an alternative to showing up to the Cajun Dome. But if you prefer, go to the Cajun Dome, that's fine. Screening is free, but bring your government-issued ID, bring your insurance card, and our healthcare providers are asking that you bring $50 in case you do need a test. The flu tests are free, right? Correct. That is hot off the press, so. Okay, so the charge for the COVID test would happen at a later time. So this is literally new information, and we may even have even more of an update later on here tonight, and we will update the site and our messages to the media via press release or in some other informal fashion. But we will definitely get the information out. We're not going to sit on that because we're very proud of this screening site that everybody's put together. And again, I applaud our city and parish council for working with us on getting that up. Same thing for these other 4 sites that we're ready to put up when necessary. Are y'all ready for me to
No,
proclaim?
Mr. Nakane, I have 2 more. Mr.
Oh.
Nakane?
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Mr. Rubin, I appreciate bringing up the aspect of the elderly, because I did have a couple of phone calls in regards to the elderly, concerns regarding prescription medicines, things that they may need help with. Is there any place they can call to get assistance with?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Nakane, that would be 232-HELP. That is the local resource, or referral source. If people are having a hard time with their prescriptions, 232-HELP is going to be the referral where they can figure out where they can get some assistance paying for their prescriptions.
No, it's not just paying. I'm talking about in getting picked up and delivered even. You know, they may have trouble with that. 232-HELP could help with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They can assist them and then point them in the right direction and link them up.
You never know. Maybe a waiter can find a new business line doing that too.
That's a great idea.
That would work well. But the only thing is with something like that, we're dealing a lot of times with opioids and very heavy prescription medicines that need to be signed for and accounted for. We just can't have anybody delivering that. That was part of the cause. I was worried about that. The second thing I wanted to say was in times like this, and I know Mayor President Gilroy and you have always stressed that, is it's important to look at your local people, your local suppliers, your local businesses, because everybody's hurting right now. Try to support them as much as you can. If they, if you going to get takeout, try to get it locally. If you go, try to deal with people who need the help, because no, goodness knows this community is going to lose a lot of money, and a lot of people are going to be hurting because of less income. A lot of hourly people are probably sitting at home right now. So if we can do all we can to help these people out, it sure would be a wonderful thing to do. Remember them always, and keep them in your prayers too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Lazar?
I'm going to be very brief since Mr. Rubin used all my time. In any event, it has to do with the shopping part. As a matter of fact, Dollar General announced on yesterday the first hour that they're open will be set aside solely for the elderly and disabled.
Right.
So Dollar General stores, all Dollar General stores, the first hour that they're open, I think they open at 9, 8 or 9, I'm not sure what time. But anyway, the first hour will be set aside for the elderly and disabled.
Great. Thank you. Good information.
Ms. Cook?
Oh, okay, actually, I have a different question. Nothing about the virus.
All right.
It's about the Professional Services Committee meeting. That's Thursday.
Sure.
And I'm getting, I had an email about wondering if it's going to be, it's public access to that building.
I think it's canceled. Man.
Has that meeting been canceled?
Yeah, we canceled that. That meeting has been canceled.
Oh, it has been canceled, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that makes that easy, thank you.
Any other questions on the COVID virus in Lafayette Parish and our screening sites?
You're good, Mr. Mayor.
And
You
I
could-
think, I just got a message saying that Champagnes for the elderly, 6 to 7, open for the elderly.
AM, Madam Clerk? AM?
AM, yes, at Champagnes.
Okay, we got,
Thank
okay, Mayor, President, continue.
Yes, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Madam Clerk. That's helpful information. As we continue to get this, and I know our councilman will funnel it through the administration, we'll post it up, and any information you have. So great teamwork here. Also, we had some other activities in the city and the parish, because as I remind everybody, someone in this community for years had said every inch of Lafayette City is in Lafayette Parish. So, and I know I never forget that. I don't think we do either. But Buchanan Street Parking Garage, there has been movement on that. So today, if you drive by, you'll notice that those big, heavy 3,000 to 7,000 pound concrete panels are starting to be removed. So again, I want to thank the Parish Council for not only stopping what you're doing the other day, getting up here very, very quickly, holding an emergency meeting, and allocating the funds, but you're seeing your work in progress now. So you're seeing the fruits of your hard work, and this is really going to help. I'm still crossing my fingers and saying some prayers that when we get those panels off, we reassess the situation with engineers, and who knows, maybe we can put that thing back in commerce. That would be fantastic for our wonderful city and parish. But either way, no matter what option we took, those panels have to come off, and they are starting to come off today. So good job. That's the pretty big update for us. That being said, I have a proclamation, and I am just thrilled to death to proclaim this. We have all this these serious situations going on. Well, I happen to be married to a very wonderful woman, and I have 2 daughters that I love very much. And my chief administrative officer is a lady, and we have 2 councilwomen that are sound charge. Our clerk is a lady, and so today we're going to honor Women's History Month. So that being said, whereas American women of every culture, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every culture, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas the year 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing and protecting women's constitutional right to vote. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. And whereas the Lafayette Commission on the Needs of Women supports programs that recognize women and their achievements and highlights accomplished of local women. Now, therefore, I, Josh Guillory, Mayor President of the Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2020 as Women's History Month, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Lafayette Consolidated Government to be affixed this 17th day of March in the year of our Lord 2020. All right. Okay, we are gonna, we'll continue to exercise social distancing, but I do again want to recognize that we have two very hardworking council members that happen to be women, and you know, to this we celebrate you and we appreciate all your accomplishments and your participation in our wonderful community. Thank you. So, all right, so you'll be the keeper of the proclamation. Okay. Thank you, Councilman Nakane, for handing me a very important note. Okay, so with the seriousness of the COVID-19 natural disaster, it is very, with the heavy heart and sad news that I have to announce and remind everybody that Festival International has been canceled. I did inquire about that earlier today in regards to a possible just postponement. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not looking too good. So Festival International, as of right now, has been canceled. We all know the huge economic impact that's going to have. Please know how hard the administration is working with President Trump's administration and Governor Edwards' administration to see what we can do about a stimulus package here to Lafayette Parish. Again, I want to encourage everybody to continue to be in the forefront of this fight that we have against COVID-19. It can only help not only in combating this, but also show some aid and some support later down the road in working with certain relief from our higher levels of government. So. Thank you. That said, Mr. Chair, I have no other information to provide.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Nakane.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank Mr. Scott Feehan, the chairman of the festival, for coming to such a tough decision. All that hard work they put into planning this festival, and they were so close to pulling off another wonderful year. I know it's disappointing to all the participants, to all the volunteers, to all those people that organized it, to all the bands that look forward, the acts that look forward to coming here. So our thanks to everyone who put all their time into it, and our sympathies to those who will miss it, which is basically the whole city and the parish. But thank you, Scott Feehan.
Yes. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. Okay, let's move on to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read item number 4.
Joint Resolution 10, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council designating Sun Chodo as a community housing development organization for the jurisdiction of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government.
Okay, I need a motion and second from the City Council. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane, second by Ms. Liz Avery.
I need a motion and a second from the Parish Council. It's been moved by Mr. Tabers, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
Council's discussion on ordinance. Resolution, I'm sorry. Ms. Wood, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 1,
Yes.
And it'll be via voice vote only.
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 1, Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5. Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Let's move on to ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read item number 5.
Joint Ordinance 8, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the non-warranty donation of the adjudicated properties at 504 South St. Antoine Street and 510 South St. Antoine Street to the Hub Lafayette Urban Ministries pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 47-2205.
Need a motion and second from city. Motion by Mr. Cook, second by Mr. Glenn Lazar.
Looking for a motion from the parish. Been moved by Mr. Carlson, second by Mr. Tabor.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir?
Need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 2? Yes. City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Yes. Parish District 1? Yes. Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Chairman, please read item number 6.
Joint Ordinance 9, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Alarm Review Board.
I need a motion from, and a second from the city council. Motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar, second by Ms. Nanette Cook.
Need a motion, second from the parish council. It's been moved by Mr. Rubin, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, public comments.
No, sir?
Need a vote from each council on joint ordinance.
City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Yes. Parish District 1? Yes. Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Chairman, please read item number 7.
Joint Ordinance 10, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the City Parish Recreational Advisory Commission.
Need a motion and a second from the city. Motion by Mr. Nakane and second by Ms. Liz Hebert.
Need a motion, second from the parish council. Has been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Carlson.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir?
I need a vote from each council, the city, on the joint ordinance.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2? Yes. City District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Yes. Parish District 1? Yes. Parish District 3?
Yes.
Motion by City Council to adopt is approved. Motion by Parish Council to adopt is approved.
Chairman, read 8, please.
Joint Ordinance 11, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Airport Commission.
The motion from the city, motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Glenn Lazar.
Need a motion and second from the parish council. Been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir?
I need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2? Yes. City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Yes. Parish District 1? Yes. Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt by City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by Parish Council is approved.
Okay, we'll move along to introductory ordinance. I'm reminding everyone that item 9 and 10 are deferred indefinitely. I need a motion and a second to introduce in global items 11 through 13 from City Council. Motion by Ms. Liz, second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Need a motion and second from the parish council. Been moved by Mr. Carlson, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
The motion and a second to introduce into global item 11 through 13 from the parish. You did that, guys? Okay. Jeremy, please read items 11 through 14.
Joint Ordinance 14, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of $87,400 in community development block grant funds within the Community Development Department to Acadiana Cares Incorporated. Joint Ordinance 15, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring home grant expenses within the Community Development Department to the correct grant year in order to facilitate grant closeout. Joint Ordinance 16, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction.
Comments from the public concerned above introductory ordinance?
No, sir?
Council discussion? I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir?
I need a vote from each council to introduce and global joint ordinance items 11 through 13.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2, City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5, Parish District 1, Parish District 3, Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5. Motion to introduce in globo by City Council is approved. Motion to introduce in globo by Parish Council is approved.
I adjourn the parish council meeting.
I adjourn joint meeting and the city council meeting.